What's up, you guys? Welcome back again to your Heroclix headquarters. Today, we're going to be starting off our full set review of Spider-Man Beyond Amazing. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting us off here at number 1, we have Spider-Man, no less. Of course, classic thwip pose. Gotta love it. Now, I know a lot of people hate sculpt reuse, though, and this sculpt appears in this set like 4 times. So there's a lot of this very same sculpt Spider-Man, but it's fine. Maybe 5 times, actually. It's a common, uncommon. There's like 2 of the OP kit figures, the play-at-home kit, and the actual like release day OP kit, and the starter set. So yeah, it's used 5 separate times in this set. Regardless, anyway, this one is the common version. Spider-Man Family Reporter Scientist keywords. It's got the Spider-Man team ability up there. This is also our first look here at the Wall Crawler trait. A lot of figures in this set have this trait, but it gives you Leap Climb. Free, place this character in a square of different elevation within 4 squares in line of fire. Very nice, kind of like a free self-TK as long as there's another different elevation within range and line of fire. The cool thing is it's just a different elevation, so I'm pretty sure that does still work if you're like on elevation 2 and you just go back down to 1. You know, it's a different elevation still, so I'm pretty sure that works. And then you've also got Incapacitate. When Spider-Man uses it after resolutions, hit characters can't make range attacks until your next turn. That's pretty nice, you know, a lot better than your standard Incap. Would be better if he had 2 targets, but, you know, that's not too bad anyway. He's only 40 points, he got running shot, 11 attack with that Incap special, and some super senses with the TA. And of course, he got the Leap Climb and the placement, and then later dial, he gets some super strength, outwit, and sidestep to keep moving around. Not too shabby, I'd say. You know, nothing too crazy either, but a pretty solid version of Spider-Man if you're just starting out. So for you newer players just getting into the game, of course, this is a great set to pick up. And this is a perfectly fine Spider-Man. There's definitely better ones, but I think this one's pretty nice for 40 points. But moving right along, next up we have Jonah Jameson, and of course, you know, Spider-Man's one true nemesis, actually in his own office here. I do love this Daily Bugle map, but anyway, he's got the Spider-Man Family Celebrity Politician and Reporter keywords. He's got a Rally Die effect here, so whenever your friendly characters roll a 1, you get to put a, you know, the die with a 1 on his card for the Rally Die. And then he has free, remove 1 of Jonah Jameson's rally dice. If you do, this turn, when an opposing character uses super senses, they only succeed on a roll of 6, which is pretty nice. There's a lot of pretty crazy super senses going around right now where you could get, you know, with the Superman TA and equip them with like Wonder Woman bracelets or something, and they already have it on like a 4 through 6, so it's like they only fail on a 1 or something crazy. So that is really nice to have. Now, however, for 25 points, that's, you know, kind of a one-trick pony. He does bring some Perplex to the table, which does help, but he really isn't doing anything for your team other than perplexing, and hopefully, if you roll a 1, you could then take off that rally die to hurt your opponent's super sense rolls. However, that's dependent on, first of all, your opponent playing a lot of really good super sense figures, as well as, you know, actually rolling 1s, which you don't really want to do anyway. So unfortunately, for those reasons, he's really not that great, but, you know, in certain situations, he can be very useful against very specific figures. You're definitely going to wish you had his rally die effect, but unfortunately, I feel like he would really need to be cheaper, like maybe 10 to 15 points to be worth really sticking on a team. If he was like 15 points with the Perplex, that alone would be worth putting him on there. But at 25, you know, not great. But whatever, it's Jonah Jameson, and he's always fun to have in Clicks form. All right, and up next here we have the Police Officer, a generic police officer. I think it's hilarious that the Kingpin can spawn this guy. You'd think there'd be like a police chief or something that would spawn him, but no. You get the Kingpin to spawn the corrupt cops. I think that's hilarious. We'll take a look at him later in the rares. But however, this police officer has the PD team ability, detective and police keywords, and that's pretty much all he's got. For 15 points, he just has 9 attack, 16 with toughness, and 2 damage with range combat expert. So he can be shooting, 5 range, 10 for 3 with that range combat expert, so that's not too bad. And the police team ability for 15 points is pretty nice to throw on a team, especially if you got some wild cards to copy it. But in case you don't know, it says when an adjacent friendly character makes a range attack, modify the target's defense -1 if the target is within range and line of fire of this character. So basically, if you have somebody next to him that's making a range attack, if he can also see the target, then that person gets -1 to their defense, which is pretty nice. If you got a bunch of these dudes lined up, it would make their 10 attack a lot easier to hit with. But yeah, that's pretty much all he's got going on. If he randomly takes a click of poison damage or takes a hit from energy explosion or something, he does get some plasticity and empower, which definitely differentiates what he's going to be doing for your team by quite a bit. But otherwise, I feel like there's probably better things you could be doing for 15 points. He's kind of really just there to be brought in by Kingpin. There's, I think, Jimmy Woo, was it, in the Disney Plus set? I think he's only maybe 20 points, and he's got PD and I think Perplex as well. So he does some other stuff for your team. I think he's a little bit better if you just want a cheap police team ability to throw on the team. But yeah, this guy's great for obviously just being brought in for free from Kingpin. And I think that's a really funny mechanic. So for that reason, it is a really cool figure, and I do love generics. All right, moving right along. Next up, we've got Mary Jane, of course, the classic MJ. She's always been pretty good whenever we get her. The last one in Spider-Man Venom Absolute Carnage was absolutely nuts. This one is pretty great still as well. So yeah, Spider-Man family celebrity keywords. She does have Spider-Man team ability, so super senses on a 6. And she's got a rally die for a 1, so when your friendlies roll a 1, you put that rally dice on there. And then when a friendly character with the Spider-Man team ability uses super senses, you may remove one of her rally dice to re-roll it. So that's pretty nice. If you're getting really bad rolls on your attack rolls, you can at least kind of convert that into re-rolling your super sense rolls. So that's pretty nice. Yeah, you got some combat reflexes and probability control as well. Probability control right now is really, really good, by the way. With the new rules for theme teams, we don't just have access to 3 free theme team probs all the time. So having that cheap 20-point probability control is really, really nice. And this is actually a really powerful, super senses reroll thing. Those are really, really strong effects in my opinion. So it is nice to have, especially on a Spider-Man family theme team where you're going to be having a lot of those super sense rolls. And she can do it for herself too. She technically has super senses from, the team ability. So if she's gonna die or something, she could remove a rally dice to reroll her super senses and maybe get that 6 and save herself. If she, maybe she already used her prob or whatever. So it's kind of nice to have. And yeah, I think for 20 points, she does a lot, especially for the kind of teams that you're going to want to put her on anyway, the Spider-Man family teams. That cheap prob and that super sense reroll is huge for 20 points. So pretty awesome Mary Jane figure. Probably not quite as good as the last one that made all the paparazzi pogs and then could do the secret identity to turn into somebody else if she was KO'd. That one's just crazy, but this one is definitely close to being just as good. Next up, we've got a hand ninja. I do love generics, like I just said with the police officers. Now, if there's one thing I love more than a generic, it's a generic ninja. This hand ninja is freaking awesome looking. I do love the sculpt on these ninjas specifically. I think they did a great job, making the weapons look really awesome, and the whole ninja get up and everything looks so cool. But yeah, hand, assassin, martial artist, and mystical keywords. The Masters of Evil team ability. So that's basically the exact same as the PD team ability, but for close attacks. So when a friendly character makes a close attack, you can modify the target's defense by -1 if the target is adjacent to this character. So, if you got a bunch of these dudes swarming one target, they easily get -3 on their defense. Pretty nuts. But he also has Smoke Cloud as free, but only to generate 2 markers. Well, a very powerful effect in my opinion for only 20 points. Improved movement elevated, 3 range, 7 movement with stealth, 10 attack with that awesome smoke cloud as free for 2 markers, and then 17 with combat reflexes. It's actually pretty nuts because this guy can just run around, create his own hindering for free, so he's in stealth constantly, and that means you're going to have to run up and try to hit him for 19 with that 17 with combat reflexes is going to make him 19 up close, and they probably can't shoot him because of the stealth. So really annoying ninja to get to. I think it's really cool that he can literally run around and just be completely invisible for the most part. It's really awesome. And yeah, and he can just throw down some cover for one of your other stealthy characters. If you've got a big hand ninja team, and a couple of these guys are going to be great to just be throwing out that free smoke grenades and just popping smoke for the rest of your team to hide in. It's so cool and thematic, I think. So yeah, I've got like 9 of these ninjas, and I'm probably going to keep most of them at least, because they're so cool. And these guys can also be generated by like Matt Murdock and I think somebody else as well. So yeah, that's going to be super fun. I can't wait to play a huge hand ninja team at some point because I love these things. So 10 out of 10 for me. And next up we have Matt Murdock. Now I did just mention Matt Murdock generates the hand ninjas. It's not this one though, it's the uncommon one we'll take a look at in the next video. But this common version of Matt Murdock instead, well, first of all, he's got Marvel Knights, Spider-Man, family, celebrity, and martial artist keywords with the Spider-Man TA there for the super senses +1 or on a 6. Yeah, anyway, he's got Perplex on his damage power, and when Matt Murdock uses it to target an opposing character, that character's combat values can't be positively modified or replaced until your next turn. Now, you do have to be careful with that because they can't be replaced, which don't forget that charge and running shot are also replacement values. So if you were to perplex down someone and you're like, haha, now you can't, replace your attack value with Sinister Syndicate team ability, and you can't perplex up your attack, and you can't, have energy shield up in your defense, yada, yada, yada. That's all great stuff. But if they've got like a 8 movement charge, they're going to be charging for 8 and not 4. So you do have to be careful about the way that you use that ability. But yeah, otherwise, still a really, really cool effect. Leap climb to move them around, some combat reflexes, and that really cool Perplex special, and the super senses on a 6, of course. And for only 30 points, so, again, it's one of those things where it's like there's probably better stuff for 30 points, but he does do something very interesting with that Perplex effect. And it's just a really cool version of Matt. It's probably our best, just basic version of regular Matt Murdock. So that's really cool. Gosh, I just wish they did. In the last Spider-Man set, they invented one of the greatest mechanics ever with the secret identity. So whenever a character is KO'd, you can replace them with their secret identity. I really, really wish. We got 2 Matt Murdocks in this set, and we got 2 Daredevils in the set, 3 if you count the Elektra one. I just really wish this one was a secret identity that could, on KO, or when he would be KO'd, swap to the rare Daredevil, or even the uncommon Daredevil, either one. I don't care. On their 9th click or whatever with the special couple of clicks they had at the end. That would have been so cool. That's just a missed opportunity in my opinion. But regardless, I love Daredevil, and it's really cool to have another just basic Matt Murdock in the game. Okay, up next here we've got our new SpiderGwen common version this time. Again, her last appearance, she was, one of the secret identity characters. But this time, it's nice to get just like a common version of her for once. She's always like a rare or super rare or chase. There's actually a bunch of chase versions of her. But it is nice to get just a regular common Spider-Gwen for once. She has that wall crawler trait we looked at earlier with Spider-Man. Spider-Man family and celebrity keywords. Spider-Man team ability, of course. Drive-by webbing, special movement power here, gives her sidestep, and when Spider-Gwen is given a move action, after resolutions, you may give an action token to an opposing character she moved through during that action. So very cool to be able to just kind of sidestep and run through somebody, because she does have improved movement for characters, so she doesn't have to stop or anything. So you can just run through someone and just give them a token. I think that's great. That's, really, really annoying thing to just keep giving tokens for free. And if you don't want to move, you could potentially risk double target in cap with her 10 attack, 4 range. So that's also an option if you want to try that. And she has willpower, so she can keep going and going and going potentially, which I think is better used to just keep moving around and around and just tokening one person at a time that way. Because 10 attack is not really worth risking even a double target in cap. But yeah, she does have a 3 damage with Outwit, so she's also bringing some Outwit to the team. 50 points is not too bad. But yeah, not too crazy. She's just kind of a literal tie-up piece, you know what I mean? She's literally just going to pick on somebody and keep giving them an action token every single turn. And outwitting them. She could outwit their, charge, sidestep, willpower, whatever it may be. So yeah, a really annoying tie-up piece. And for that, 50 points nowadays is a little bit overcosted for that kind of effect. But again, these are just the commons. You're probably not going to find anything too super crazy in the commons most of the time. Sometimes there's some hidden gems. Unfortunately, I don't think she's really one of them, but she's a fun figure nonetheless. Up next, one of my personal favorites, Venom. Of course, I am a huge symbiote fan. Venom, Carnage, gotta love all of them. So yeah, looking freaking awesome. This is one of my favorite Venom sculpts so far, just because he's so big and imposing. I just love that. Very well done on this one, in my opinion. Only thing missing is the tongue coming out. Would have been really cool. I imagine if they had made him a rare or super rare, they would have had that extra detail. But regardless, very cool still. Sinister Syndicate, Spider-Man Family, Symbiote, and Monster keywords. He's got Sinister Syndicate team ability and Spider-Man team ability as well. He starts with a trait that gives him Precision Strike and Steel Energy, and when an opposing character uses Super Senses after resolutions, you may heal Venom 1 click. That is such a good trait, actually. I mean, Precision and Steel Energy is already really good as just a generic trait to have or something, but whenever a opposing character rolls Super Senses, you just get to heal him a click after resolutions. That's pretty nuts. That means if you're attacking someone and they keep rolling super senses and you're missing, you could be healing him up constantly. And the cool thing is they just have to roll it. They don't have to get it. So you could be attacking someone, they could be rolling senses over and over and heal him up a ton of times. Even if they miss all their senses, you're still doing damage to them and he's still healing. So it's pretty nuts. Against the right kind of team, he can be pretty hard to take down unless they just straight up one-shot him, because every time they roll senses, he heals a click. So it's very easy to get him from 0 to top dial, hit click 6 all the way back up, just by making that many attacks in one turn. So yeah, anyway, I do love his dial also. Improved movement for elevated, 50 points, 4 range, 10 movement charge, 11 attack, super strength, 18 invulnerable, and 3 damage with exploit weakness. Super strength, just such a good power right now. Just being able to charge in there, pick up a barrier marker or something and smack somebody with it is great. Picking up something like the giant, shipping container, get that giant reach 3 and the +2 damage. So he's hitting for 5 exploit weakness is pretty nuts. And then, yeah, you just got the super senses on his 6 to go with his invuln, so you have a little bit of a rollout. But yeah, I really like this Venom. I feel like he feels like a Venom, you know what I mean? The Steel Energy to heal up, the healing up every time somebody rolls senses, Precision Strike, Charge, Super Strength, Exploit. Has a lot of damage potential, a lot of healing potential. So I think for that reason, he's a really great figure. Really great for sealed because of all that stuff he can do. I mean, you're not going to see him in any crazy high tier competitive games, but I think at your locals, he's still fairly playable for sure. Still going to be able to sneak in there and get some big damage in and be a nuisance to KO. So for that reason, I like him a lot. Plus, he's Venom. Up next, one of my absolute favorite commons of the whole set here is Black Cat. For only 40 or 20 points, she can do some really amazing things, especially just being a common figure. So this is definitely one of the commons to look out for if you're a new player, maybe you're only picking up a few boosters of this set. If you pull her, definitely hold on to her. She's great. So yeah, she's got Heroes for Hire, Magia, Spider-Man Family, and Martial Artist keywords. She's got Spider-Man Family and Underworld team abilities. And the main reason she's so good is this trait right here, Giant Reach 2. Opposing characters within 4 squares have Safeguard friendly probability control. And that means that your opposing characters cannot prob themselves, basically. Anybody within 4 of her can't be probbed by their friendly characters, is what that means. So, it shuts off a lot of their potential to prob attacks against you, because she just has to be within 4 of who is ever making the attack. Even if the probability controller person is way far back, their character making the attack would not be able to be probbed from their friendly characters. So that, on top of the fact that she does also have probability control herself at both point values, means that, they might hit the first one, she probs it to a miss, and then they can't do anything about it. So very powerful effect, in my opinion. Spider-Man TA for that super senses on a 6. For 40 points, she's not bad. You got stealth, 11 attack blades, 17 combat reflexes. But of course, 20 is probably going to be the sweet spot for her. Leap climb to get into position. 10 attack with precision strike is still pretty good for only 20 points. She's still got the 17 combat reflexes, and that prob, just that amazing prob and ability to shut off prob for only 20 points is huge. And I think she could definitely see some meta play for that ability alone. Plus, Underworld Team ability gives her the ability to carry 1 character or 2 characters if they're both lower points than her, and they all have to share a keyword when she's carrying. But the ability to carry somebody and, shut off prob basically, and prob for cheap on top of that, and she can make attacks. She's got precision strike, she can hurt somebody. So I think she is possibly the best common of the set, in my opinion, and I don't really have anything else to say. She's great. Definitely get her. All right, up next here we have Spiderling. She is just, another cheap little common figure here. Running shot, perplex, kind of secondary attacker, supporter little figure there. Spider-Man team ability, Spider-Man family keyword is her only keyword. Wall crawler trait to zip around. She's got this special damage power here that gives her perplex. When Spiderling uses it to target an opposing character after resolutions, roll a d6. On a 5 or 6, give the target an action token. So yeah, that's kind of nice. I wouldn't really count on rolling that too often, but when it does come up, giving somebody a token is always nice. Perplexing them down and giving them a token, would be pretty useful. She does have running shot, 10 attack, 3 damage, so she can definitely be getting some shots in. For only 40 points, she's certainly not horrible. I've definitely seen worse. I don't know, she's not too crazy. She's got some fun stuff there with the perplex that can potentially give tokens. And like I said, just a nice little kind of secondary, tertiary range attacker with a little support with the perplex. You could always just perplex up her own attack to 11 and running shot in. Not too bad for 40 points. But I would say there's better options. Actually, just for her, her starter set version of her is much better. So if you just wanted to play a Spiderling, I would suggest just using the starter set version. I think she's better than this one. But yeah, that's about all I got to say about her. All right, next up we've got Sandman, who looking pretty epic here. Pretty great sculpt on him. I love the, big just coming out of the sand and everything. And got that big sand weapon. Very cool. Very awesome. So love the detail on that one. But let's take a look at what he can do here. He's got Avengers, Frightful 4, and Sinister Syndicate team ability, or keywords, sorry. Sinister Syndicate team ability, though, yes. Rally die on a 6 for opposing attack rolls. So again, whenever your opponents roll a 6 in their attack rolls, you put a 6 on his card. But yeah, he's got super senses, and when Sandman uses it after resolutions, generate a hindering terrain marker. Free, remove one of Sandman's rally dice to place him in a square with one of his hindering terrain markers. If you do, remove the marker and heal him 1 click. Not too bad. You're just kind of got traded super senses there, and then he's just like popping off, free little hindering markers, and then has that ability to place himself in it and heal a click. So not too shabby. Giant Reach 2, Quake, and Poison for his, there we go, for a 75-point line. Not too bad. You got 10 movement charge, 11 attack with Close Combat Expert, meaning he's going to be a 12 attack with a Giant Reach 2 for potentially 4 damage or just quake a bunch of people. Poison is also nice there, an 18 invuln. on top of having super senses. So he's got a couple good layers of defense there, you know, some built-in healing as well. And yeah, not too bad. 40 points also. You got charge, poison, and some exploit, and only a 10 attack, but you know, with the Sinister Syndicate TA, you could easily get to an 11 or better. Yeah, not too bad. I used him in sealed, and he was pretty fun. So overall, you know, nice, always nice to get a new Sandman. There's been some cooler ones in the past, but you know, for a common, not bad. And up next is Hydroman, and I gotta give WizKids major props here. They've always, well, the last couple times they've had a Hydroman and a Sandman in the same set, they always just reuse the sculpt, you know, just paint the sand blue and make him Hydroman. So I gotta say, congrats. They finally decided to just not do that, because this is its own sculpt altogether. You know, the water is totally different. He's got a giant water hand instead of a big, you know, like mace or whatever, spiky ball of sand. So yeah, very cool, that the very great sculpt, and it's also different and its own unique thing. So great job on that, you guys at WizKids. And then he's got the Frightful Four, Masters of Evil, and Sinister Syndicate team abilities. Yeah, I said it again. It's keywords, not team abilities, but he does have Sinister Syndicate team ability, is what I'm trying to say there. And he's got Shape Change on his Rally Die trait here. So again, whenever they roll a 6, you get to put a 6 on his card. He's got Shape Change. When Hydroman uses it, after resolutions, generate a water terrain marker. Free, remove one of Hydroman's Rally dice to place him in a square with one of his water terrain markers, and if you do, remove the marker and heal him a click. So very similar to what we just saw with Sandman, except it's Shape Change instead of super senses, and it's water terrain markers instead of hindering terrain markers. So a little bit different there. Liquid Form gives you barrier, regeneration, and toughness for his back end. So again, 75 or 40 points. He's got the swim ability, of course, 4 range, double target, 8 movement running shot, 11 attack, pulse wave, 18 invuln, and 3 damage exploit. So gotta love that pulse wave starting out, very nice. But otherwise, on his lower dial, you've got charge, quake, close combat expert, and invulnerability still. So he can still be hitting 11 for 3 pretty easy, or quaking a bunch of people. And yeah, easily get his attack up from the team ability as well. So not too bad. Another really fun figure, actually, I played both of them in sealed together, and they were pretty cool together. The healing effect definitely does come in handy to heal a couple clicks throughout the game, unless they just get like one shot, which if you're in like a competitive game, they're gonna just get one shot. But for sealed, they were good, and for like, you know, casual fun nights, definitely fun figures. Up next, we've got Moon Knight, of course, fan favorite Moon Knight. You gotta love him. Definitely better than the last one, in my opinion. Last one being in, I think it was War of the Realms, possibly. I don't remember right now. But yeah, this one I think is actually pretty great. He's got the Spider-Man team ability. He's got the Avengers, Defenders, Heroes for Hire, Marvel Knights, Midnight Suns, Detective, and Mystical keywords. A lot of good keywords in there for sure. A lot of good options. Hunter's Moon trait here gives him leap, climb, stealth, willpower. Free, choose an opposing character within range until your next turn. The chosen character can't use stealth or willpower. Note that it just says within range, not line of fire. That's why you can choose somebody that is in stealth and turn off their stealth. So yeah, I mean, that trait alone is great. It gives you leap, climb, stealth, and willpower. So 3 good powers. Well, you know, leap, climb's not great, but it's just nice to have, I guess. But yeah, stealth and willpower, 2 really strong powers. And then you've got that ability to completely shut off stealth or willpower also, which is really cool. So yeah, improved targeting, can make ranged attacks while adjacent. He's coming in at 60 or 35 points. For 60 points, you've got running shot, 11 attack, precision, 18 toughness, and 3 damage with perplex. I think I prefer the 35 option because you're only losing 2 clicks of health. You know, he's still got running shot, precision for 3 damage, you know, still toughness, and the perplex. I think for what he brings to the table for 35 is pretty great. You know, they got the perplex and the stealth willpower and the ability to turn off stealth or willpower. Very cool. So yeah, pretty awesome. Oh, and don't forget, he's got the super senses on a 6 as well to help give him another layer of defense if, you know, they get by his stealth and toughness. At least he's got that potential rollout. So yeah, I think he's pretty good at 60. I mean, it does have 5 range triple target for the precision. So for 60, he's pretty decent. He perplexes attack to 12. Just running shot in there, triple target with precision. But even for 35, you could do the same thing. Perplexes attack to 11 and running shot in there. So that's why I kind of like the lower option better. So yeah, really cool new Moon Knight. Definitely would shake up my top 5 Moon Knight list. He'd be up there. He's pretty close. But yeah, really awesome Moon Knight. Like him a lot. And up next, we've got Bullseye here. So, of course, the classic Daredevil villain. Really cool figure. Really like the starter set version of this guy. Some really cool stuff with that one. But this one's not too bad either. Dark Avengers, Sinister Syndicate, The Hand, Thunderbolts, Assassin, and Martial Artist keywords. The Sinister Syndicate team ability, another rally on a 6. When Bullseye makes a range attack, you may remove 2 of his rally dice to replace both dice in the attack roll. So, yeah, he gets 2 rally dice on him, 2 6s on him. You can remove both of them to replace both of his dice and just make it a crit hit. Very powerful. Your opponent already has to be rolling pretty well to pull that off, but it is kind of nice to just guarantee yourself a crit hit when it's like most necessary. And yeah, another damage power here gives him range +3 and range combat expert. Pretty nuts. So for his first half of his dial, he's going to be running shotting 8, which means 4 squares movement. Improved targeting characters, 5 range with a +3 makes it an 8 range. So a huge reach, especially nowadays since they've been, you know, shortening the maps, shortening the ranges and the speed values and all that kind of stuff. Gives them a huge reach, 11 attack precision strike, and that's going to be 12 for 3 with the range combat expert. And yeah, not too bad. Some willpower to keep going. Mid dial there, he gets a 12 attack, which is going to be really nice to share out with his team ability. You know, for 60 points, not bad. He's a really powerful range attacker, in my opinion. Again, nothing that's going to be like super crazy meta competitive, but on the right team, I think he definitely has a place. And up next here, we have Aunt May. Very awesome to finally get Aunt May. We've got a couple versions of her, but I don't think we've ever gotten, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we've ever gotten just a regular schmegular Aunt May here. Just old lady, straight up. I know we got like Golden Oldie where she was like cosmic powered, but I can't off the top of my head remember if we've ever gotten another Aunt May before. I think we've got her in Pog form before. Anyway, I don't know. This one is amazing though. If there is another one, this one probably blows that one out of the water because this one is great. In my opinion, I would say this is right up there with the best common of the set with Black Cat. Those are, in my opinion, the 2 best commons of the whole set, and I'll get into why right now. She's got the Spiderman family keyword and team ability. Rally die of a 6. When Aunt May uses support after rolling, you may remove 1 of her rally dice to choose 1. Do not half the result, or all other friendly characters adjacent to Aunt May are also healed of the result. If the target character has the Spider-Man team ability, you may choose both, which is really cool. So if somebody's rolling a 6, hitting you pretty hard, remove her rally dice. If they have the team ability, you could choose to not half the result of her, you know, support roll and also heal all adjacent friendly characters. So get one big massive heal in there. And yeah, pretty awesome. I mean, she's only 10 points and has support. And with the new changes to support, also willpower is great here too. So yeah, with the new changes to support, she's just so good for 10 points. You can just, you know, take a power action to essentially roll and, you know, it's like a regen roll. You just roll and heal them half the result, round it up. So very powerful for 10 points. And what is crazy is that you can also play the Indigo Tribe Ring for 10 points and put support on anybody. You could also put it on her, and then she gets an additional healing effect from that ring, because that is also like you use support and you just give it +1 or something like that if you can already use support. So that's something to try out, and plus it gives her the ability to take a power action to generate pogs, some of the constructs, bystanders. So that could give her some other crazy utility too. But yeah, for 10 points, the ability to heal some of your bigger, stronger characters is great. If you see her on your opponent's team, I would recommend just trying to run over there, just KO her first, get it out the way. It's only 10 points, but if you let her just stay alive and sit in the back, then once you do get in some big damage on somebody, they're just going to run back, and she's going to take a quick power action to heal them up of most of the damage she just did. So for that reason, I think she's definitely one of the best commons of the set. All right, and last but not least, you guys, we're finally here at the end of the commons, and we're ending it off with our boy Miles Morales. Of course, the new Spider-Man here, very cool. Very awesome. Can't wait for the new Spider-Man Spider-Verse movie coming out soon. So yeah, this guy's got Avengers, Champions, Shield, Spider-Man family keywords, Spider-Man team ability, and wildcard team abilities. Very nice. So you got the wall crawler trait, leap climb, free, place him different elevation within 4 squares in line of fire. Gotta love that. And then the adaptive camouflage gives him sidestep and stealth. So for 50 points, he starts with running shot, 11 attack, 18 energy shield, 2 damage with range combat expert. So of course 12 for 3. And then if you're starting at 25 points, you've got that stealth and sidestep combo, and you got the close combat expert. So 11 for 3. I think both point values are good. I mean, both of them are getting you kind of what you want, just like a cheap secondary attacker kind of character. Spider-Man team ability is great for the +1 senses. Team player can get him a lot of stuff, or I should say it gives him super senses on a 6, because he doesn't actually have regular super senses anywhere. So that is nice to have, and then team player could add something else cool to him. I think for 25 points, like if you don't have anything better to do with 25 points, you might as well just throw him on like a Spider-Man family team, because why not? Sidestep stealth, just to get up there, get into position, tie somebody up, because he's going to be 19 up close with the close combat reflexes. And he's going to be able to hit hard too with the close combat expert. So I like him for 25 as just a cheap little filler and harasser kind of tie-up piece. But for 50, he makes a nice little secondary ranged attacker with that basically 12 attack, 3 damage. So yeah, pretty cool. Do like him a lot. We don't get enough Miles. We usually only get 1 or 2 per Spider-Man set, and I think we actually got 3 this time, because we got this guy, we got the play-at-home kit, and we got this one in the starter set. So very cool to finally be getting some more Miles. And I definitely want to do a top 5 Miles Morales list when that new Spider-Man movie comes out. So look forward to that. And that's going to do it for the commons. Thank you guys for sticking with me this long. If you have, make sure to let me know all your thoughts and opinions about this set so far in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you smash that like button. Don't forget to click that subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. And if you'd like to help support the channel even more, make sure you check the links in the description for our Patreon so you can see your name here in the credits with all these other amazing people. Huge shout out to you guys. It is great having your support. It has helped me out a lot. So, and for as little as $1 a month, you can join in on the Patreon and get entered into our monthly Patreon giveaways. So make sure you check that out if that interests you. But that's going to do it for this one. Thank you guys again so much for watching. And until next time, this has been Heroclix Headquarters signing off.